All right, good morning from the Denver Curling Club, where Draw 3 of the 2026 Mixed Fours Nationals for USA Curling are taking place. This morning, the feature sheet features teams Banh versus Coleman, each team looking for their first victory, so one of those teams will get into the win column following today's draw. Although ties are allowed. And that will be where most of our commentary is. Also visible on the YouTube will be sheet C, where we have De Jong versus Strauss. The two sheets you will not be able to see are sheet A. We have Kislik versus Roth and Dunham versus Falco. Those last four teams are the four teams that got wins in their first games yesterday. Waiting for the LSDs to be entered online to see who's got hammer in the first end, but looks like Team Kislik will be throwing first on sheet A. Team Banh throwing first on sheet Bravo, and therefore Coleman will have hammer. And Team Banh starts with a center guard that doesn't quite get to the center line. Let's see, they're looking for about 4 feet of curl. Well, if they're trying to get behind that guard, I guess they're expecting 5 feet of curl. Yep, that Coleman rock not only curled at least 5, it curled about 6 feet, which is consistent with what we were getting yesterday. So probably just not enough broom there or not enough rotations on that rock. Okay, so to introduce the teams, we'll start with Team Banh. T, as he's known, they're representing the Midwest Curling Association, representing the Chicago Curling Club, which I had the pleasure to visit about a year ago this month. So Skip is T. The vice, Catherine Stewart. The second is Jimmy Cluse, and the lead is Liz Collins. On the part of... Oh, no, I got it right. Too many pieces of paper here. Team Coleman, we have Skip Gabby Coleman, Gabrielle, vice skip Connor Robinson, second Abby Lynn, and lead Neil Hunter Smith. And we'll talk more about all of those players as the game goes on. It always takes me a while to get used to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 different screens in front of me, as well as looking out at the ice where I have a good shot of sheet alpha, but we're commenting on sheet bravo. Let's check the draw speed here on Abby's rock. I got 14-1. Looks like it's coming to about back 4. So speed of the ice maybe a little bit slow for what these guys expect at this level. I think it got a little faster than that throughout the game yesterday, so we can expect speeds to increase this morning. All right. Looks like Abby's looking for the hit and roll on this rock. Remove that red for yellow to sit 3. A little narrow and crashed on their own rock, top 4. So Team Banh will look to put a rock top of the house, top 12. The miss here probably on the light side. So Team Coleman comes to us from the Mopac region, Mountain Pacific, and the squad comes from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Lots of good players coming from there, and had good representation at many national events this season. All right, trying that same hit and roll, and they make the hit. Don't get the roll, so the yellow rock for Team Coleman is exposed, and the call for Banh is to do the same in return. If they can make this, they'll be in very good shape. Looks a little on the wide side, but they double out both yellows that were in the house. So red is sitting 3, but exposed. So once again, we're going to try the same hit and roll to try to get underneath. Team's struggling in this first end to come to grips with the curl on this ice. You can hear the sweep call. They were trying to curl it, then went straight. Probably should have kept curling. All right, here comes Banh down to throw his first skip rock. And again, he'll be looking for that hit and roll. Now he's got to roll a bit further, so that's a little bit harder. Doesn't really have to make a perfect shot here. Just they're sweeping for line. You're going to get some roll, but not very much. But, you know, the initial rock that they hit was behind the tee line. We're now at the top of the 4 foot. Things are moving higher and higher. You know, if Coleman hits this on the nose, they won't be shot, I don't believe. I wonder, I think, what strategy they're cooking up here. If you can hit it thin enough, but not too thin, you will roll to shot. And that looks like it's definitely the call. So Gabrielle in the hack with her first. Meanwhile, I'm looking at sheet C. Yellow, which is Team Strauss, is sitting 2. They've got 4 rocks in the house. De Jong has 2 sitting in the house. Lots of guards over there. Okay. Robertson's hits nose to sit second. Banh with his last rock, but without hammer. Probably just wants to hit nose on this and sit. That would take away any hit for 1 for Robertson, and probably leaving the draw for 1 against 3. So would put a lot of pressure on the Mopac team to start this game if they make this hit. It's a very wide shot. It may, it not ticked it to a sit shot and give the Chicago team a draw to touch the 4 foot for 2 in the first end. Of course, having thrown all those hits, let's see if they can remember what draw weight is this early in the game. Sweepers are on it immediately. They've come off. They must like the weight. Oh, I was a little late with my stopwatch. Low 14s. Looks a little heavy. May not stick. Ooh, it does. Just biting the back of the 4 foot for 2. For Team Coleman. All right, so let's check out what's happening on the other sheets. Sheet A, Alpha, we have Kislik versus Roth. Roth with hammer, and the first end was blanked. Sheet Charlie. They just threw their last rock. It looked like 2 yellow. I'll confirm that. And over on sheet Delta, Team Falco puts up 1 against Dunham. So Falco up 1. Yeah, the score on Charlie was 2 for Strauss. So on sheet Alpha, Kislik and Roth each won their opening game yesterday. On sheet Bravo, Banh and Coleman each lost their openers. So the winner there will get into the win column for the first time. Same situation on sheet Charlie, De Jong and Strauss each lost their opening game. So looking to get into the win column there. And then over on Delta, Dunham and Falco each won. I remember watching the Falco game against Irvin. They were pushed right to the end. Dave Falco with a hit to score 1, being tied with hammer in the 8th. Well, you'd rather be tied with hammer than be tied without hammer, wouldn't you? All right. Looks like on Bravo we're going to get a corner guard, with hammer for Banh. So, nice corner guard by Liz. Okay, so I just logged in so I could see the YouTube commentary. And hi, my name is Doug Biesecker. I've been curling for 6 years. I just finished my last year of 5 and under. Make that make sense. Oh yes, the COVID year. So I am also a seniors curler, curled at senior nationals. So I covered the spectrum. I will try to pay attention to your comments, and thank you for the person that said this was good commentary, because you'll have to convince me that you're right. And I look forward to keeping up on this.
9-5. 9-5.
There's the peel of the guard, leaving the shot rock too close to the center line for comfort. Expect Team Coleman to use that to their advantage. They've got that broom all the way out at the edge of the 12-foot. So let's see how much curl we get on this rock. They're calling for the guard on their own that's in the house. It's going to be a 2 guard. It is over curling. It curled almost exactly 6 feet. If she was on the broom, and we will assume, or he, sorry, that was Neil. Let's assume all curlers are perfect all the time, and they hit the broom every time, right? Right? Sorry, when I look at other sheets, I get distracted, and then I forget where I was on the feature sheet. Bravo. So with Team Coleman's going to try to do what Team Banh just did. Make that hit and roll behind the guards. It's a bit wide. It's going to make the hit and remove all the rocks from the house. So Team Banh working with lots of guards, with hammer. Time to come into the house, top of the house, and try to generate some offense. You know, I don't know how loud it is for you, but I hear the sweepers on the neighboring sheets, and I have to look and see what's happening there. This rock seems a bit wide. Is it going to curl enough? It's also heavy. All the way to the back 12, but it stays, so that is shot rock. Team Coleman will attempt to use those guards to come around and sit top of the button, top 4. Well, more guards. Team Banh is going to come the other way now that that draw path is shrunk. Having not come this way, knowing the weight for that draw is a little uncertain. They're trying to get it in between their 2 reds. Looks like they've made that. The weight looks pretty good. I would stay. Yeah. They just slid behind the tee line, but red is sitting 2. Team Coleman needs to make a shot here, but it is open for them to get to shot. right, so Gabrielle with her first coming up. And the button is open for the steal or to at least force. And she's going to follow that team Banh rock down the outturn side. Okay, sweepers are just cleaning. They like the line. Still just cleaning. Curl. Now they're going for curl. It looks a little heavy. It's going to, just tick it and roll to the back to sit second. So look for Team Banh to follow these last two rocks down that path, and by now maybe get the weight just right to sit top of the button. Oh, that looks like a very nice rock. Does it have enough? Stay on it, sweepers. It looks like it's sitting second, but not 100% sure of that from this overhead view. They're having a look. It would narrow the draw path, but it's probably still there. Or are they thinking of coming the other way now? I think the intern's still open for them. Yeah, still trying to decide on the shot here. I guess there's a proposal to run back that yellow, cornerish yellow guard. Early in the game, I don't think we're too concerned about time. There's always time to make it up. All right, we have a decision, and it's the draw down that same path. Just be a touch wider. I think you can still get to the button. You just have to get scary close to that outside red. Oh, that rock's pretty wide. They're sweeping for curl. They are going to crash on the guard. So now the question is red sitting 1 or 2? And is this going to be a draw for 3? To be sure of that, just you got to be full 8. They're having a close look. I think it's close enough that at the end of this, if nothing moves, there may be a measure. The on-ice supervisors will be looking to, to for some action to make a measure. Yeah, it's a very wide broom. We haven't had any rocks out that far, so it's probably a little slower on that line. Sweepers are going hard at it. Can they get it there? I don't know if it's going to make it. It's not. So we're going to have to wait for the score on this one. They're having a close look. It's well, they're clearing the rocks, so we'll see what the on-ice supervisors hang on the scoreboard. Yeah, well, the officials in the warm room are tapping the glass, asking the officials out in the ice room to please hang the score on sheet Bravo. Oh, meanwhile, on sheet Charlie, red, Team De Jong scored 4 in the second to take a 4-2 lead over Team Strauss. And on sheet Alpha, Team Kislik stole 1 in the second to go up 1-0. On sheet Delta, Team Nutham scored 1 in the second to be tied 1-1 after 2. And we still do not have a score hung for sheet Bravo. And it was 2 red, so tie after 2 ends. 2-all. All right, looking at sheet Charlie and red, Team De Jong has put up 2 center guards. high and low guards, and they've got one top of the forefoot sitting shot, so they're putting a lot of pressure on Team Strauss. Sheep Bravo. So far, the teams are playing conventional strategy. We've got corners for Team Coleman. And looks like Team Band's just trying to come around their guard.
That's Jeff Schleesman and Jason.
Yeah, what? Okay, point it. All right. On YouTube, you asked, who are the ice makers? So, head ice maker for this event is Jeff Schleesman of Poinet Curling Club, and I think half a dozen curling clubs in the area, though he did retire last year. So what's he doing here? That's a good question. And Jason Strong coming to us from Curl Vegas. He's the deputy for Jeff at this event. Curl Vegas facility, they opened with their dedicated facility just a year ago, or a year and a half, I guess 2 seasons ago. I was able to be out there twice last year, and doing ice in the middle of the desert is quite the experience, as folks in Arizona already know. You learn a lot as an ice guy trying to do ice under those conditions. All right, well, on sheet Charlie, we have another center guard. Don't know if that was intentional, but well set up for the steal for Team de Jong. Let's talk a little bit about the other sheets. So, on sheet Alpha, we have Colorado versus Wisconsin matchup. We have Team Kislik representing the home club. I believe they actually won the MACA qualifier, so they are the reigning champs of MACA. I hope I'm right about that. Against Team Roth, of course, Nina Roth. If you know curling, then you already know all about Nina Roth, twice at the Olympics. And she plays mixed doubles with teammate Croy Nernberger. Meanwhile, on sheet Charlie, we have Team de Jong, also representing Wisconsin. Team Strauss representing the Great Lakes Curling Association, particularly the Traverse City Curling Club. I have had the pleasure of playing there. Fastest ice I ever played on was for senior nationals there last year. And the storyline under this one is the Strauss here is not Delaney and it's not Sam. No, it's Scott. And finally on sheet Delta, we have Team Dunham out of GNCC representing the Potomac Curling Club. And then Team Falco, the defending champ the last 2 years. And they were, I believe, the runner-up in the MACA Playdowns, but represent the Denver Curling Club at this year's championship as the host club. Though I don't believe they played the playoff game in the MACA Playdowns to sort out who might actually have been able to win that, since both teams knew they were going to go to nationals. All right. Charlie, things are looking very messy. At this point, I can't tell who shot, but we've got 4 rocks in the 4-foot, 2 for each team, and a whole bunch of center guards. I think DeYoung is going to try to tick their own rock to sit possibly 2. But looking well set to force or steal on sheet Charlie. And the folks from Chicago draw another one into the house. They're sitting 3. But Team Coleman is lining up that double. Very narrow broom. Probably going to see a lot of weight. And I was probably late with my stopwatch. Let's see what I get. It is not curling. They might still make it the other way. No, it jams. Well, I got 9-9, so it was probably a 10-second rock. Just outside. Oh, no. He was on the broom perfectly. The ice. It was always the ice. Well, I took my eye off Charlie, and now it looks like Team Strauss tapped DeYoung to definitely sit shot. And okay, the officials were just notifying me. There must have been a mistake in the online scoring, but the score on sheet Bravo is 2-2. Apparently, they had indicated Banh had scored 3 in the second end. Having a look at sheet Charlie, I cannot be sure what shot is being called here. It looks like, well, on the face of it, looks like a double or triple run back, so I don't think that's the call. Maybe just trying to peel, but because they have one more rock. They have an open, so Team Strauss does have an open yellow that they could use on their last shot. Meanwhile, on Bravo, Team Coleman sitting behind the corner guards. Team Banh sitting top of the button to sit 1. And with that broom, looking for almost 7 feet of curl to guard that. The guard, you know, has to be perfect here. Um, or they risk giving up a big end to Coleman. Well, that rock curled about 6 feet, not quite enough to cover shot rock, so I believe we're going to see a down weight hit for possibly 3. So there's a red and back that could jam. So Coleman has to be careful with this shot. Get the angles right. Keep the shooter. Meanwhile, on sheet Charlie, DeYoung is lining up a run back. No, Strauss is lining up a run back of a DeYoung rock. Oh, this rock looks a little bit wide, but if they make the removal, they should score 2. So, yep, looks like 2 yellow on sheet Bravo in the third for Coleman. And on Charlie, the attempted run back misses wide. They're clearing the rocks. If I had to guess, I'll say it's a steal of 1 red. Yes, that's what's been posted. So DeYoung is up 5-2 on Strauss after 3. All right, well, on sheet Charlie, you know, this is the last end before the mid-game break. Strauss will have hammer. They'll be looking to get something on the board, even 1. You know, gets them hammer in the even ends, and they would only be down 2, and they can regroup. But obviously, trying to score more than 1 on sheet Charlie. Okay, over on sheet Delta, Team Falco scored 1 in the third to go up 2-1. So a very, very tight game over there.
So, do you know if you'd be stick curling or do you... Yeah.
Always lower.
And I'm looking at sheet Alpha, Team Roth with hammer, and maybe sitting 1. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rocks that could possibly be biting the 12-foot. And the middle is wide open. Looks like there's a hit for multiples here on the reds in the back of the 12-foot. This could be a hit for as many as 4, possibly 5, if it's made. Made the hit and moved some other rocks around to sit at least 2. And they're eyeing up the other rocks. I think there's going to be a measure. but I believe the measure is for 4. So big, big, big end for Team Roth on sheet alpha.
I think we just gotta let it.
And the on-ice supervisor is coming over with the measuring stick that I've heard referred to as a micrometer. I'm not really sure what you call it. We'll call it a measuring stick. I am a level 2 official. I should probably know what it's called.
Line's a little tight. Where's it at? Okay, line's good. Line's
All right,
fine.
I am watching the measurement on sheet alpha. They've measured the first rock, red Kislik, now measuring the second rock, yellow for Roth, and she points at yellow, so 4 yellow for Roth in the third end. Big, big end. So that'll make the score 4-1 after 3. Okay, back to Sheep Bravo. Coleman lining things up on the center line, Banh with the corner guard. If you've been watching, you know more about how they got there than I do.
Right on the nose. Little bit of room. Curl if you have to. 15-5. Line 5.
Okay, with the hit by Banh to remove the rock, the guard slash scoring rock in the top 12, and the call by Coleman is to put that rock back. Again, the miss here is probably light. You don't want to get too close to set up that double. Though,
Ralph, that was good. I just gave you more ice.
if I'm Banh, do I just peel that center guard if this shot is made? Yep, this is definitely light, so now we have 2 center guards. Relatively close together. Look, what's the call going to be? They're trying to come down weight and hit the rock in the house. But, you know, this is where the miss is to peel a guard, so if you're going to miss narrow, not wide. But then when you tell yourself that, that's when you hit the guard every time, right?
Last one was perfect, Ralph. I'll just give you more ice.
And just like that, they peeled the guard, which is not a bad result. It's, in fact, a good result. And rolled into the house. That is a very, very fortunate roll for Team Banh. But
Peel. Hard for peel.
I can't tell if Coleman is called for the hit on that red or if they're throwing up another guard. Oh, that's a lot of weight. They are definitely hitting. And it looks good from this angle, right on nose. And just like that, yellow sitting too. But yellow shot rock is wide open for the hit and roll, trying to roll wide behind the guard, or, you know, corner frozen to the other yellow would be an acceptable miss.
All right, Jilly, let's make it. Right on the nose. 9-5. They're out. Hey, two's good. Two's good. We got a ton of room.
Yeah, that rock just didn't curl enough. Again, I'm blaming the ice. So they made the hit, rolled out, and Coleman will look to draw another one in. Meanwhile, on sheet Charlie, it looks like. Oh, wait for that shot to finish. De Jong is actually sitting one at the back of the button, with Strauss sitting with one just not quite biting the button above that, with lots and lots of rocks junking up the middle. So Strauss needs to make sure they score one here and ideally manufacture more than one. I believe this is no. This will be the Vice's second rock for Team Strauss.
Either one's fine. Nose is good too.
Meanwhile, sheet Bravo, we are trying to make that hit and roll again, and again hit it too thin and roll out. So Coleman looking to put that rock back. This is Gabrielle's first. I think, Coleman would be looking to steal, but a force of one would do just fine. Well, that rock over curled a touch, so we'll have a slightly different line. Okay, oh, look at the roll on that shot. Beautiful roll right behind the guard. Though, one way to access that would be for Team Coleman to use their own yellow on the outside of the 12-foot. Which I think is what they are trying to do. Big shot for Gabrielle here. All right, on release, she set that. Possibly having slid narrow. Let's see how the line on that looks. They're sweeping hard. Sweeping very hard. They're actually going to get... Yep, they made direct contact with that red, but did not move it far enough. So red is still sitting one, with a draw to the full 12 for 2 to tie this game. So after leaving it a little short in the previous end, expect Banh to make sure his rock gets there. But they'll be on the typical draw path, so it should be the standard speed for this draw. Here comes the rock sweepers going pretty hard. Oh, I hope he didn't leave this one short. They're working really hard. Oh, no, line sweeper's off. Oh, does it need to curl? Are they on the guard? They tick the guard. Tick the guard. It's rolling in. And at first glance, I don't think it's there. No, I think it's only one red. I think they were surprised at the lack of curl on that one. Overswept it early, and it held the line and ticked on that guard. As a skip, I would never blame my sweepers for a missed shot, by the way. It's never, ever, ever the sweeper's fault. So indeed it is one. So in our fourth end break, we'll take a break of 5 minutes with Team Coleman up 4-3, and Coleman will have hammer in the fifth. Meanwhile, checking out the action on the other sheets. Looks like I see a one yellow rock on Charlie, so that'll be Team Strauss's hammer. De Jong currently sitting 2. Strauss could be trying a hit and roll here. The guard is very, very high, so did not make the roll, so they cut De Jong down to a steal of 1. But on Charlie, De Jong will go into the break up 6-1 on Team 6-2 on Team Strauss. Let's see what's happening on Alpha and Delta. I see 2 Kislik rocks at the far end, so this will be Derek's first. And Roth sitting 1, 2, 3, probably 4, though 3 of those are in the back of the house. Over on sheet Delta, I just see 1 yellow rock. So this is Falco's last, but Dunham will have hammer. And on Delta, apparently I cannot see Delta on any of my screens in front of me. So I'm trying to look at the overhead screens a far distance away, and I think I see Team Dunham sitting 1, 2, 3, but I see no guards, So the Falco rock comes in, removes one red rock, but hits nose. And I think I see an open hit for four for Dunham, but don't quote me on that, because I'm looking at a screen that's on the far side of the room at an angle. All right, well, Andy is in the hack, lining up his shot. Here it comes. It's definitely a hit, but that's to be expected. Ooh, oh. The yellow rock jammed on a rock that I hadn't seen. And so I do think Falco stole one. Andy threw a ton of weight at that one, hit high side. Yes, so the score has been posted at the mid-game break after 4 ends. Team Falco is up 3-1 on Team Dunham. And the last game to go to finish the 4th end will be Sheet Alpha. Kislik with a draw facing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellows. A draw with a slight tap would get him 1. Draw to the full 4-foot would cut it down substantially. This rock looks pretty good. He's going to get to nose and tap. And they're looking to see who shot. But no matter what, nobody's scoring more than 1 in this end on Sheet Alpha. They're leaving the rocks. Croy's having a look now. Yeah, he's crossing his arms like he doesn't know. I think our on-ice supervisors get the chance to measure it. No, they have cleared the rocks. So let's see what score gets hung at the far end. Oh, that was 1 for Kislik. So the score after 4 is Roth 4, Kislik 2. And the Team Kislik table and snacks are directly in front of me. And Coach Miriam Johnston just dumped a whole bunch of food on the table. So time for me to take a bite of my banana. And there's that famous Lucy Bradshaw giggle. Maybe you can hear that on this microphone. So. All right, Cheats, Bravo, and Charlie are back underway. Strauss on Charlie under a lot of pressure to get some points on the board. Again, we're only halfway through the game. Plenty of time to overturn that scoreboard. The other 3 games are all very close. Leads of just 1 or 2 points. So very, very close competition early in a match. It's good to see. Or sorry, early in a tournament. Good to see. Sometimes those seeding matchups result in blowouts, and sometimes those seedings are just not very good, and teams really are better than where their competitors put them when they do the pure seeding. Often, you know, you can't really, teams 4 through 10, it's random. Like, nobody would say that team 4 is that much better than team 10, but you had to sort them by rank somehow, and you had to put somebody 10th. All right, so on sheet Bravo, team Banh with a hit and a roll behind the tee line and half buried behind the center guard. So team Coleman says time to peel the guards. And, you hit this with a lot of weight, high side, and you could lose. You should lose everything. There's a risk that red on the, I'll call it the left side, or the rock, the target rock, just runs straight back. Oh, no, they hit close to nose, ran it back, and jammed on the rock in the house, so there's still a red behind the tee line in the back of the forefoot. 14 Banh. The call is to put another rock in the house, top 8, top 12, acting as a guard. But Coleman did roll over, acting as sort of a guard for their rock that's in the house in the 12-foot. So at this point, it's more or less classic house hammer, defending, hammer, guarding, no hammer situation, with Banh without hammer on the center line and Coleman with their rocks in the corners. Oh, and this rock is a bit wide. It crashes on the Coleman guard, pushes it back, so Coleman now has 2 rocks. Not quite behind the corner guard. From the hack, it looks like you can see all of both of them, maybe only 3/4 of one of them. The double would be there. Meanwhile, Coleman's going to come in and hit that Banh rock that's in the back forefoot and ideally roll behind a guard. They're rolling wide. Are they going to roll out? Ooh, they do. So now, what will we see from Banh? He's eyeing up this double. He can hit high side on that yellow and make that double. Yeah, this rock is definitely a little on the wide side. Hit too thin, so it did only peel the top yellow. So Coleman sitting 1, and the call is to peel guards, I believe. Or no, they are drawing in. I think there was a discussion as to whether they should peel or draw. Placement of this rock is very important. Okay, well, they're top of the house, just biting the 12-foot. So shot rock is the one closer to the tee line in the corner, and the call is to hit that one and ideally roll towards the center. Meanwhile, looking at Cheat Charlie, Strauss with one rock in the house, in the corners, right on the tee line, and DeYoung has clogged up the middle. So the call from Strauss is to peel some of those rocks on the center line. And on Bravo, the hit and roll was successful. They've rolled behind a corner guard. I think Coleman is eyeing up an inside-out hit and roll off that rock. Nope. Called for a broom. That would just be a draw behind the guards on the center line to sit shot. Oh, that loud bang was just my cup of tea being knocked over and spilling tea. All right, sweepers are on this hard. I think they like the weight, or they've given up on it. You can't tell from this angle when they follow. The shooter follows their rock down. It's hard to tell. Oh, the weight's really close. Yes. It slid behind the tee line, but it's shot rock for Coleman. All right, looks like Banh is trying to, well, they're moving the, come in between the red guards and come into the button to sit shot. This was a line earlier in this end that did run a little straight, and Team Banh did raise a Coleman rock into the house from this angle. In this case, it's their own rock that they need to worry about. Sweepers are on it hard. I guess they're worried about line. They're getting very close, so they get by that guard. Come in and if I had to guess, I would say yellow is still shot. But at this point, yeah. Well, so yellow has a draw for one, maybe two. Gabrielle is just going to need to follow that Banh rock to the button. It's the same broom as the previous shot. Banh had a lot of rotations on his rock. Rotations are pretty good here too. Needs to curl. They're sweeping it for curl. Looks like, yeah, they crashed on the guard. So it's one, but one for who? I think it might be red. I'm not sure. What are they going to hang on the board? And it was one yellow, so Team Coleman gets their one. In fact, so yeah, this game has gone with hammer all 5 ends. So after 5 ends, sheet Bravo, Coleman is up 5-3 on Team Banh. Team Coleman, of course, would love to put a stranglehold on this game by stealing in the 6th and upending the let's have team with hammer score on each end paradigm that these teams have set on. But we're in a very tight game, very tight finish, and as it stands, Banh is down 2, but has hammered 2 more times to Coleman's 1. Let's look at sheet Charlie. Okay, lots of rocks in the house. Shot rock is De Jong. Second is Strauss. Third is De Jong. Here comes a Strauss rock. Looks like the shot rock for De Jong is an open hit. And that would be a hit for 2, I believe. Yep, they're moving the rocks. So good end for Team Strauss to be down 6-3 after 5, tightening that game up. Looking at the situation on the other sheets, Alpha, the house is somewhat empty. Kislik with 2 rocks in the 12-foot, and Roth with a rock in the 12-foot, and there's a hit by Kislik to remove the Roth yellow for Kislik to sit 2. Let's see, in this end, Roth has hammer, and this looks like it's Croy's first. So Skip's first rock. Meanwhile, on sheet Delta, again, I have no view of that sheet. And the monitor for that overhead view is even further away for the far end sheet. So I'm not going to pretend I know what's happening on sheet Delta. I will just wait for a score to get posted.
Lines break. Should start snapping right now.
Meanwhile, on Alpha, Croy's first, drawing it in. Weight looks good. coming behind the guard. Top four looks like it's just over or about half buried. So Team Kislik is eyeing up a hit. Well, at least Croy knows he's got draw weight down, so if Kislik is able to make this hit, he knows he can make the draw for one.
Either's okay. Like 10 seconds. Stay square.
All right. I can never tell. I'm assuming the 10 seconds was Derek Kislik calling for a controlled weight hit on that Roth rock on sheet alpha. And he's over the near hog line with that rock. Sweepers are on it, sweeping for curl.
Same shot, Emily. Full leg, go. Same shot.
I hear Lucy saying, go, 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 go. They're really sweeping hard. He ticks it, but nah, maybe. Can't tell if yellow or red is shot on sheet alpha. If it's red, that's an open hit for 2 for Croy. If it's yellow, then Croy has a draw to touch the 8 foot for 2. I'm not sure what the call is here. I think it's the draw. So yellow must be sitting 1, so this is a draw for 2. It's the draw Croy just made with his last rock. And it just needs to be closer to the 8 foot than to the outside of the 12 foot to be second. Sweepers are leaving it alone. It sits back of the button, and I am waiting to find out if that's 1 or 2 yellow for Team Roth. Well, they're leaving the rocks alone. We may have another measure. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's yellow, but that's just a guess. So, and it's going to be a measure on alpha. Meanwhile, sheet delta, yellow with another steal. Team Falco is up 5-1, or 4-1 after 5. So just nothing but 1s on sheet delta, but more 1s for Falco, 4 of them, than the 1-1 for Dunham.
I think it's just heavy, so let's let it see. Rub it no matter what.
Oh, and I just looked at the comments, and somebody was asking for the score on sheet delta. Can the camera zoom in? Camera control is all remote. I'm not messing with any cameras, I will tell you that. Well, I see we've got 65 people watching. I apologize that 64 of you, because one of them is me, have to hear me on this Thursday morning. Unless you're on the East Coast where it's now afternoon. And who knows, maybe you're coming from Europe where it's evening. Or you're coming from Alaska where it's very, very early. But our Alaska team is not in action this morning. They'll be in the next draw.
Never Ralph. Never Ralph. Come on, Rock. Ralph here.
By the way, a shout out to our Alaska team, Team Johnson, because they have 2 juniors who were in Colorado in January competing in the U18 championships. So good to see juniors. 3 years ago at this event, 2 juniors were part of the Jed Brundage team that won the championship, Bella and May Higginbaugh. So teams with juniors can succeed at this level.
I had you here. I'm bringing you all the way in here.
All right, back to the action on the ice. Nice draw by Team Coleman to sit 1. Right now, all the angles are in their favor. The button's still open with the amount of curl we're getting on this ice.
Looks like a little bit more positive.
So
Yeah, this was cruising. I wouldn't mind chapping this whole round. No, it's coming in. It's coming in.
this is Skip's first for Team Bam.
He's okay.
Definitely wants to, score 1 here, not give up the steal. Ideally, generate some offense, get a Skip's deuce. They're sweeping hard. They've come off. Needs to curl. It feels a bit wide. They're going to tip the yellow over to make the angles even harder for themselves. So yellow could lock another one in or miss a little light, leave it high, and make a steal here very likely. On sheet Charlie, Team Strauss looks like they're sitting 2 at the moment. And this is Skip's first rock for Team Strauss. He is probably throwing up a guard. Meanwhile, on sheet Alpha, Team Roth just hit a Kislik rock, and Team Roth has 3 rocks in the forefoot with no guards. Well, there is a Kislik corner guard. Okay, the Coleman rock, probably a little light. They would have liked it deeper, probably, in the house. It might tighten up the draw path a little bit, but I think the draw path is still there with the sort of curl we're getting. Are they thinking of coming the other way now? Possibly throw the in turn instead of the out turn. Okay, looking at shot sheet Charlie, looks like Strauss is currently sitting 3. They've got 4 yellows in the 4-foot with 1 red. Expect De Jong to come in with some white and remove some of these yellow rocks, I would think. So ban is coming, the out-turn path that they've been using. Well, are they considering a different shot? Yep, looks like they're lining up that corner guard. It's a very, very wide. The way they're lining it up, this is not an in-off. They want to hit high side and run that very wide corner in. They I guess, is it a no-risk shot? No, there is a risk here. You get the angle wrong. You can pick out your own red rock that's in the back of the 4-foot, and yellow would score 3, and that would probably be game over. At the moment, yellow's only scoring 1. All right. Here comes the ban rock. It's gonna hit nose. So no change. Yellow steals 1 to take a lead of 6-3. So up 3 with 2 ends to play. So Team Coleman in control of this game now. Okay, meanwhile, looking at sheet Charlie, all I keep seeing are more yellow rocks in the house. And this is hammer for red, Team De Jong. Up 2, but looking at Strauss sitting 3. Sweeper's hard on that rock. It clips rock in the top of the 8-foot for, I believe, a steal of 3 for Strauss, which would put Strauss in the lead after 6. Yes, 3 for Strauss to take a 7-6 lead over Team De Jong. Meanwhile, sheet Alpha Kislik just hit a Roth rock and rolled out, and I see a red rock in the back of the house that Team Roth is eyeing up for the hit. Team Roth with a lead of 6-2, just doesn't want to give up. Any more than a 1 or a 2 at worst to Team Kislik at this point. And they're probably just as fine with Team Kislik blanking this end. Well, I can't see what's happening on sheet alpha because ice maker Jeff Schliesman is now in my way. But the hit was made. They rolled out. Kislik is eyeing up a draw to get behind the lonely corner guard that he has on sheet alpha. All right, sheet Bravo. Coleman with the lead has put their first 2 rocks in the forefoot. And Banh comes in, hits, rolls behind the corner, rolls a little bit wide. I think Coleman's gonna hit that. Yep, they're lining up the hit. At this point, Coleman up 3 with 2 ends to play, just wants to make sure they, if they give up any points in this end, come home in the 8th with hammer with a lead. All right, looks like sheet Delta has finished the 6th end. There's movement of rocks. Andy Dunham is walking down to this end. Does that mean they're... Well, they're eyeing up rocks. There may be a measure. They've cleared everything. The radio... whoa. What a big score on sheet Delta. Team Dunham with 5, count them, 5 in the 6th to take a 6-4 lead over defending champion Team Falca. Have no idea how that happened, but it did. So we're gonna have a barn burner of a finish over on Delta, and of course there's no cameras. All right. On sheet alpha, Roth is sitting 1. Looks like Kislik is just eyeing up the draw for 1. This would cut the lead to 6-3. So hammer on sheet alpha is coming down the sheet. Sweepers are on it lightly. Now they're off. They're leaving it alone. Not touching it at all. Weight looks pretty good. And that'll be 1 red. So Team Kislik cuts the lead to 6-3 after 6 ends. Over on sheet alpha. All right, quick look at sheet Charlie as this De Jong rug peels the center guard from Team Strauss. De Jong sitting with 1 on the button, and Strauss 2 rocks in the top of the 8-foot, and a De Jong rock on the center line in the top of the 12-foot. in a game separated by one, with Strauss leading by one. All right, on Bravo, I think Coleman is, I don't know how much of this rock they can see. They can probably see almost all of it. So yeah, they're going for the hit. That's not Coleman, that's Banh. Apologies. So they must be splitting the house here. Indeed, they're splitting the house. Sweepers are on it. Now they're off, so they like to wait. Sweeping for curl. Trying to stop the easy double. They've done that. They're above the tee line. So looks like Coleman's going to hit that open rock. Again, Coleman will be happy to force one, maybe give up two, and then come home with a lead. Steals, there's not much in the way of guards, so a steal does not look on for Coleman in this end. All right, if I look at sheet Charlie, haven't been following it, but Strauss is currently sitting two with two De Jong rocks in the top of the house. I think they were trying to run back one, but they peeled the other one, which is an acceptable result. Leaving shot rock for Strauss completely open. Okay, now Coleman eyeing up the fact that Banh is now sitting two and they're guarded. So I think they're eyeing up the run back of that guard. Indeed they are. Sorry, I missed that Banh rock, but obviously he made a very nice hit and roll to sit two. So, Gabrielle. No, actually, this is Gabrielle's first, so the Banh rock would have been Catherine Stewart's hit and roll. They're sweeping for line. Looks like they're just peeling that guard. Not a bad result. This end's looking very good for Team Banh. What's he going to do? Looks like he's splitting the house. He'll leave the double on one side, but set himself up to score two. And if the double isn't made, always the chance to score three. All right, sweepers are going hard on this rock. We've seen T leave a couple of draws short. This one very, very short. It's a one guard. So Team Coleman will be eyeing up the double to sit one with no red rocks in the house. Making the double would force one or likely cause Team Banh to go for the blank. Looking at sheet Charlie, Strauss is sitting 2. There's no guards, and there's a De Jong rock. The top of the 8-foot. They're coming in. They make a hit and roll. So, Strauss still sitting 1, but De Jong is sitting 2nd and 3rd. And Strauss is eyeing up the hit. And the double is made on Bravo. So, do you steal 2 in the 8th or try to score 3 with hammer? Don't really like either choice, right? So this is Skip's choice, whether he blanks the end or takes his 1. Meanwhile, on sheet Charlie, Strauss makes the hit and roll to sit 2. And the rocks at the top of the house are staggered nicely. This is real trouble for De Jong now in the 7th. And hit and roll for the blank. So, sheep Bravo in the 8th end. Banh will have hammer, needing 3 to tie. Checking out the other sheets. Looks like De Jong is eyeing up a hit to limit Strauss to 1. And honestly, that looks like the best option and really the only option. I mean, the button is open, but you don't make that draw, you give up a steal of 2, and you're down 3 going into the 8th. So if they make this hit, they'll be down 2. If they can get the angle right, maybe they can make a double. I think that would blank the end. No, they make the hit to remove 1 Strauss rock. There's a steal of 1, so Strauss will go into the 8th end up to De Jong with hammer, down 2. Looking at sheets Alpha and Delta. Let's see, I can see Team Dunham looking to peel, not run back. Looks like they're trying to run back a center guard. It's Andy in the hack. I don't know if this is his last or his first. Doesn't look like I see a lot of rocks behind the house, so I'm going to guess this is Andy's first. And now there's people in the way, so I can't see. He makes the run back and removes his own red rock from the house, but the yellow sticks in the back of the 12-foot, I believe. So Falco will be looking to try to score 2 in this end. That would tie the game up. Meanwhile, on sheet alpha, oh, I look and there's a bunch of yellow in the house for Team Roth, but they're only sitting one, and there's a Kislik rock right on top of it in the top of the forefoot, and there's a Kislik rock in the 12-foot sitting fifth. So Kislik sitting second and fifth.
This is light. Mark control. Little tight.
And I'm not entirely sure what the call was. They tapped one of the yellows that wasn't shot. I think yellow Roth is still sitting one. I think Roth may be eyeing an in-off double to sit four. Meanwhile, sheet Bravo, Coleman bringing their rocks into the house. Team Banh putting up the corner, as you would expect. Trying to find a way to score 3. I'm going to keep my eye on sheet Alpha.
That looks like it's really gliding.
This is Team Roth. This is Hammer's first rock for Team Roth. It makes the in-off and then hits his own, but Team Roth now sitting 3, all 3 rocks in the forefoot with 1 red rock in the 12-foot. This will be Kislik's last rock then. Down 3.
Mine's good. Jacob's going.
Prospects of a steal here really aren't
Laura's going.
there. So I'm trying to decide if there's a triple here to sit 2. Maybe the gear effect, the 2 yellows that are shot are touching, and there's one in the back of the forefoot. So if you hit high side, so closer to the center line on that top yellow, there may well be a triple here to sit 2 for red. Here comes Derek out of the hack.
Kill. Kill hard.
Sweepers are leaving it alone. Well, they're waving at it like they want it to move. They're sweeping for curl. They hit high side. All the rocks are moving, and there's the triple for red to sit 2. Very nice shot by Derek Kislik, but forcing 1 for Roth. Look for the hit for 1 for Team Roth. Meanwhile, Team Falco scored 2 in the 7th to tie it up. So coming home in the 8th, Team Dunham with Hammer tied.
Emily.
Just watching this last rock on sheet Alpha in the 7th end. I guess I don't want to speculate whether we'll see handshakes or not if they're up 4. But I would think being up 4 might be enough for Team Kislik to shake hands. There's the hit, roll to the button, score of 1. Roth is up 7-3, and looks like we're going to play the 8th end on sheet Alpha. Yeah, just keeping my eye on that. No, they're definitely playing an 8th end. Kislik with hammer down 4. Sheet Delta, Dunham tied with hammer in the 8th. In Sheet Charlie, DeYoung down 2 with hammer against Strauss. And so let's come back to Sheet Bravo. Coleman will be looking to remove that red rock on the top of the 8-foot. And ideally roll just to the center to guard their shot rock at the top of the button. We're going to get pretty close to nose. Yep. So yellow's sitting 3. Banh has 1 corner guard. Need to find a way to manufacture a 3. It's not looking good. And somebody just brought lunch into the warm room. Jimmy John's. Pretty sure that's Team Kislik's lunch. All right, so we're nearing the end of draw 3. Sheet Delta's definitely the focus right now because the winner there has an early 2 wins, and obviously for Dunham to knock off Falco, the defending champ, would be a big feather in their cap early in the tournament. So now Team Coleman going to peel the corner guard. Banh with a rock in the back of the 12-foot. Biting. It may even be second rock. But the appropriate call, get rid of that corner. Ooh, and they flash. So what will we see from Banh now? Probably the hit and roll. That's what the call is. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that's the first flashed hit we've seen all game. And the hit and roll is made. So this interest in this last end on Sheet Bravo is still there. Team Coleman really wants to get rid of some rocks. Are we going to see a timeout? Yep, timeout from Team Coleman. So, timeout, yellow. That's home end, so the travel time should be short, especially since coaches are out on the ice. Oh, and we have a timeout on Sheet Alpha by Team Kislik. Not a surprise, 8th end. Teams using up those timeouts. The timer's in the way of the screen, so I can't tell how much time is on Sheet Bravo. I think the timeout was more for what's the right shot here, not we're worried about our clock. So it looks like they are going for the hit on the rock in the back of the 12-foot. And I think the miss here is to peel the guard. If they are able to get rid of that rock in the 12-foot, Banh would at most be able to score 3. And they do peel the guard, except they don't. They tick it over. It nudges a yellow to now sit second. So Team Banh is eyeing that up. They would have to get the angle right, though, so they don't double out their own shot rock. So it looks like he's calling for the draw to sit 2. Which, well, that was just a random broom that may have been proposing the draw. He's eyeing up something. Yeah, in terms of time, sheet alpha, there's plenty of time on the clocks, so the timeout on sheet alpha was purely strategic. At the moment, it looks like Roth is sitting 1, Kislik 2, and maybe 3rd. So Roth will be throwing the hit on at least one of these Kislik rocks. Probably the nice wide open one. There it is. So there's now 1 Kislik rock in the house and 3 Roth rocks, but Kislik is sitting second, top of the 8-foot. Bravo, we have a decision. It looks like it's the draw to sit 2. If I was to skip, that's probably the shot I'm making at this point. Don't want to jinx it, but he's left a few of these short in this game. So this one has got to not only sit, it's got to be in the house, actually. There's probably doesn't even have to be buried, because there might be other options with his last rock, but I think with that broom he's trying to get under the guards to sit 1-2. Sweepers are on it, going hard. I think they're close. Well, it's going to be in. Where's it going to be? Yep, behind the guard, top of the 4-foot. Very nice shot. Decisions for Team Coleman. They're eyeing up the hit on the one on the top of the 8-foot. Hit the outside. It might jam, maybe make the double. I don't know. You don't see enough of that from the hack for it to not jam. But you get rid of at least 1 rock, and Banh can only score 3 for a tie. But wait, this is hammer, isn't it? I haven't been paying attention. Sorry, Banh has, yeah. Yep, Banh has hammer, so this is the last Coleman rock. They're eyeing up the hit to try to make sure that Banh cannot score more than 3. I'm trying to figure out if there's any way Banh can use that rock that's at the top of the house to score. more than 3. Oh, I see handshakes on Charlie. I'm going Team De Jong with a 3 to win that one over Team Strauss. And the hit is made on Bravo. At the moment, it looks like Team Banh is sitting 1. I think they've just called a timeout. Yes, they have. The problem is they need to remove a yellow rock. And the way things are lined up, they're just as likely to jam on their red that's sitting shot, so they need to hit it. Wide and roll in to score 3. Or could you roll in and sit 4 somehow? It's a very tricky shot. The angles are not really favoring Team Banh, but they've got to score their 3. Meanwhile, sheet alpha, I see Roth is sitting 2, but Kislik has sitting 3rd and 4th. Top of the 8-foot. Sheet delta. We're definitely on Skip Rocks. I think we're on Falco's last, but that's all I know about that sheet. Yeah, I just looked at the commentary. Always a shout out for Team Alaska. Yeah, my daughter is a junior who has competed against those Alaska teams. When I said, oh, there were some juniors for Alaska, and she goes, is Charlie there? I'm like, yes, it's Charlie. So, like I said, always a shout out for Alaska. All right, I see Dave Falco drawing into a house that I cannot see from this angle. I see a bunch of rocks of the other color in the house. Oh, wait, oh, I may see a yellow rock too. Well, it turns out I can't tell the color of the. I think Falco may be sitting 1 in the back of the 4-foot. But, and so he just threw 1 top of the 12-foot, setting up a stagger that takes away the run back. So I suspect Falco sitting 1. And the run back was unsuccessful on Bravo. So a win for Team Coleman with 1 score of 1 in the 8th. To get into the win column. So the team from San Francisco wins on sheet Bravo. The Wisconsin team, De Jong, beating the Traverse City team of Team Strauss. Meanwhile, on sheet Alpha, oh, there's a Roth hit coming in. Roth is sitting 2. Kislik is still eyeing up something. I can't tell how many rocks are left. And on sheet Delta, Falco steals 1 in the 8th to win over there. So these games are finishing up. Falco now 2-0, Dunham to sit 1-1. Coleman and De Jong are each 1-1 in the standings. And I think Derek may be on his first. So this is Skip's first rock. Yep. So I'll stay on the air just to watch the finish of A for you. We have results on the other 3 sheets. Even with 2 rocks left, it does not look great for Kislik at this point. He's drawing. Looks like he's freezing to the Roth rocks at the top. Maybe he taps them ever so gently. Roth is now sitting 3, but there's a Kislik rock on the top of the house, or top of the 8-foot. He could run back to make a run back double, but not clear that you get rid of the shot rock of Roth that's sitting on the back of the button with that shot. So looks like Roth is eyeing up a hit to get rid of an open rock that would, again, well, I'm not sure why you would hit that one. Just to get rid of it, I guess. It would be out-counted by a yellow that's on the other side of the house. Oh, I'm getting some help here at the end. No, it's Brian Brown, the Team Falco coach, is plugging in his phone charger. Oh, very nice run back. They were actually eyeing up a double and have made it. Just 1 Kislik rock in the house. They need 3, and so that's handshakes. Team Roth goes 2-0. Team Kislik is 1-1, and that's game over here for draw 3. So the next draw 4, is at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So just 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. The feature game will be Team Johnson versus Team Kislik. And with that, I'll be signing off, and thank you for listening.